Will real world assets really be the next crypto boom? Everyone's being looking at meme coins, Bitcoin, halvings, ETFs, but what if the next real crypto boom isn't even crypto as we know it? What if it's about tokenizing reality itself? Real world assets, real estate, commodities, stocks, even government bonds are getting pulled into blockchain at lightning speed, and those who see it early could ride one of the biggest wealth shifts of the decade. So today we're diving deep. Will real world assets really be the next crypto boom, or is it just all hype? Let's break it down as always. So first of all is, what is real world assets actually? RWAs, because people hear it but don't know what it really means. So real world assets at the end of the day means tokenizing everything. What is tokenizing? So imagine you buy a home, real estate, right? If you buy this real estate, you need a lawyer that validates the contract, and then the information will go into a government. The government will write it down. In the government, you are now the owner of this very house, and so on and so on and so on. There's a lot of bureaucracy, a lot of papers, but you can tokenize the real estate. So you can give on the blockchain, right, one block, the name House of Peter, for example. Only exist once, cannot be deleted, cannot be stolen, cannot be nothing. And this house means on the blockchain, if someone wants to see it, governments, anyone else, they can see it's your house, right? So that's what the blockchain does. The blockchain creates a block with information that cannot be changed, cannot be adjusted, cannot be deleted, cannot be edited, right? And it stays there forever. That's what we are trying to do as humans since a long time with papers, contracts, governments, right? But there's a better way to do it, and that's real world asset. Having a token for everything that is physical. You can tokenize art, you can tokenize real estate, you can tokenize basically everything that has a physical value in that sense, right? So it will make everything easier, cheaper, and we don't need third parties. If I want to sell my house, I can sign on the blockchain as I would send a transaction of Bitcoin or USDT to another wallet. I could send him this wallet, and then it's memorized on the blockchain. It's not editable, it's not changeable, therefore it's the perfect register of transparency. I truly believe this narrative is picking up attention right now, and in 2 to 3 years it will be really starting to kick hard. That's what people are going to talk about mainly, because you need to understand the investing world. Everyone needs something new. There needs to be new trends, new hypes, such as in music, or let's say in fashion. There's always new hypes, new trends. It makes people buy things. Everyone has to buy electrical car. Everyone buys electrical car. It's cheaper, it's better, blah blah, even though there's no real proof that electrical cars are better than combustion engine cars. There's always like new trends they come up with, so they create at the end of the day demand, and then people buy it. That's how industry works, right? And the same goes for crypto. Now, I truly believe that one narrative that's going to make a lot of sense is especially this real world asset narrative. It's picking up right now because people that are smart money people that invest well, they always look out for the next thing and they will position themselves. So that's why we are speaking about it right now, and that's the next big narrative that I'm looking to invest into, and I'm already investing into it right now, accumulating my positions until it really takes off. Is tokenization of real estate, gold, bonds, etc. actually better than owning the real thing? I think it's a misconception. You still own the same thing, but you own it on the blockchain. You don't need it physically anymore. So Bitcoin is like a physical gold because we as humans give it that value, right? So therefore it's already a tokenized gold in that sense, right? Many people nowadays, instead of buying gold, they buy Bitcoin. For them, it's a digital asset, a digital gold, right? A hedge against inflation and crisis. Why? Because they don't want to travel around the world with 10 kilo of gold in their pocket, which sucks. It's dangerous. It's difficult. It's impossible to do. You need to have it somewhere, and you need to trust this somewhere or somewhat that the gold will be safe there. The bank, the institution, whatever, right? But if a country comes and says, hey, I'm going to seize all of your gold, then they can do that because they know where it is, right? Because they know where you're keeping it. And that has happened in the past. So what I'm saying here is that it just makes more sense in the digital day and age as we are in to have everything tokenized, ready on the wallet, always with us, instead of having it physical. The people that really benefit the most from real world asset adoption is retail investors, institutions, and governments at the end of the day, because governments want to control. Therefore, they can control it easier because everyone can tap into this blockchain. It's fully transparent. Also for retail, it's transparent because we see what the government is doing. For investors, it's easier, faster, and cheaper because no third parties are involved. An institution can perfectly sell real world assets and their technology because it's very, very, very good technology technology. It can be adopted into AI. It is really the future at the end of the day, because when you look at digitalization, how we as humans change, how much we don't speak offline anymore, but online. The way how communication starts nowadays is online. So this has changed. But the way how we sign off papers is still pretty much the same in most of the countries, because the bureaucracy, the apparatus of bureaucracy, right? This whole thing that they've built is very difficult to revolutionize. So therefore, changing everything to a blockchain-driven government makes it easier, more transparent for everyone, and cheaper. Instead of involving third parties all the time, you don't need that anymore. I truly believe that the biggest blockchains that for now what I've looked into in ecosystems to position yourself in front of this upcoming real-world assets hype is especially Ondo and its Chainlink, because Ondo is the one that has the best partnerships, such as with MasterCard and Visa for what I know, or only MasterCard. I know that they are connected with hedge funds like BlackRock, Larry Fink. I know that they have certain other very good connections and partnerships. So they are looking like the leading coin when it comes to real world assets right now. So real tokenization. And then the Oracle network, the network that we need to make this all happen, is basically Chainlink. So you should also definitely look into Chainlink, because Chainlink can tokenize. It's one thing that I love about Chainlink, and I started to invest into Chainlink since a long time because I like the project. It just makes a lot of sense, because what they are trying to do is exactly that. They're trying to put a manufacturing process of, let's say, food onto the blockchain. Because nowadays, if you take a bottle of water or some food, you know, there's nutritional facts printed on it, but you don't really know if this is true. You have no idea. There have been many scandals where meat was sold as beef, but it was different meat. There was different scandals about quality. Many meats are pumped up with water, so they look thicker, but then, you know, you want to eat them, they're very thin afterwards. So there's a lot of fake things happening in the world of, let's say, beverages and food, right? But how can you track that? You cannot track. You have to trust that the person that you buy it from gave you the right things, but you can put it on a blockchain. Imagine you put it on a blockchain, a QR code. Now you open this blockchain and there everywhere it says the address, the name, and what ingredients the person put in. Now it's more transparent for us consumers to know, oh, why is this tasting like this? Oh, what kind of things are in there? It just makes it easier, and that's what Chainlink trying to do, right? The same thing goes for tracking, bureaucracy, systems, governments, everything. So Chainlink is already a long-term project existing, especially to cater this real-world asset hype. So these are my two picks for the RWA hype. I don't really see any hidden dangers when it comes to the real world assets. At the end of the day, the thing is that obviously it is more transparent for governments, but also on the other side. So it's like a give and a take, right? So if I would say it's only transparent for the governments to track what we own, then it would be shit, right? But kind of the same way, if governments allow, let's say they will not, probably, maybe they will come out the law that they don't have to be transparent about it. Hopefully humanity until then is smart enough to veto that and to say, no, we want to see the governments, and we're only gonna have governments that are gonna speak about openly the money and where it goes, as Trump is doing it right now with especially Elon Musk, with their organization, with the Doge organization. So at the end of the day, I think it's gonna be for both sides. It's going to be a give and a take. So I think it's very positive and not negative, and it's going to make everything easier. The only thing that I can think of on top of my head right now would be, it doesn't really make it easier to save your assets in that sense, because then everyone knows wherever you travel, you have a wallet or you have a phone, you have a stick where all your assets are on. I think if you go to countries where security is very fragile, you could get threatened to give out your real world assets, right? Because you can sign them off so easily. Signing off a house is very difficult, right? You need to go to a lawyer to do that, or to an authority. You need to register it, right? There needs to be an agreement. But if you have it on a stick, right? If someone pulls up in front of you with a gun and says, give me all your Bitcoin, it's going to be difficult, you know, and that's the same thing. So there needs to be like good layers of security. These ones already exist with two-factor authentication, where you need to call someone and this person then allows step number 1, step number 2 is a code, step number 3 is another code, step number 4 is another code, step number 5, that's how big brokers and banks keep their money in vaults. They have the same security system. So that exists. So there's ways, but that's the only thing I can really think of on top of my head, is that now everyone is running around with their whole wealth, especially when they travel. That could be dangerous. Every cycle, there's a new story that changes the game. Last time it was NFTs. Before it was DeFi, ICOs, Bitcoin itself, meme coins. This time it's real world assets. But remember, in every gold rush, there are smart ones. Don't just chase the hype, they understand the fundamentals. So are you positioning yourself smartly, or just hoping to get lucky? Drop a comment. Do you think real world assets will be the next big boom, or will something else steal the spotlight? And don't forget to subscribe if you want to stay ahead of the next mega trends before the crowd even sees them.